Hello everybody, I am not dead yet, and about 2 weeks ago I posted a video in response to Ethan Harold's 13,000 calorie cheat day in which he attempts to justify eating 4 days worth of calories in one day, citing rarity and rewarding discipline. I completely disagreed with those two excuses and made my own video kind of saying, hey, it's not right, it's not good. And Ethan disagreed, but after that I kind of walked away, right? But in the 2 weeks that have passed since the release of that video, I have received tons of messages, comments, and DMs from various people who have agreed, disagreed. None of these people were Ethan, by the way, but a ton of people. And in all of those people, right, one thing seemed to kind of be a common thread, and that was this: did you always have beef with Ethan? Was your relationship with Ethan always bad? Did you always have a bone to pick with Ethan? And this is a narrative that Ethan seems to propagate to people, both in the comment that he left on that video, as well as to people who seem to DM him about the situation, because Skybox Designs, someone who has worked with both myself and with Ethan very recently, about a day or two ago, DM'd me and said, hey, well, why don't we do a video talking about things like upward trends, discipline, etc. I think it would be a good conversation. And I said I'd be perfectly okay with doing that. It sounds like a very interesting conversation, and if people want, we can even get other YouTubers in on the conversation. I'd be happy to have Brendan Gage be a part of it, or Ethan Harold himself, if Ethan wants to show up, and the Iron Musket, because I use the Iron Musket as an example in my video to prove certain points of mine, right? And so Skybox went and talked to Ethan, and Ethan told him that we have a history, so he'd be down to do this video, but he needed to hear it from me and nobody else. Well, Ethan, here you go, straight from the horse's mouth. Let's talk. Because, and I know a lot of people, before we continue on with this, are going to ask me, well, why didn't you DM him first? Because everything I needed to say to him, or could have said to him, I said in the video that I made. I had nothing else to say to him. Everything that I could have possibly said, I said in that video. So there was no reason to DM before, because it was going to be the exact same conversation I would have in the video, and there was no reason to DM him after, because I've already said everything I have to say, right? But it seems like people want to follow up, and it seems like people, again, with Ethan telling people that the only reason why, or seeming to imply that the only reason why I made that video is because I have a bone to pick with him, is something that really does bother me, which is why I'm actually making this video. Because people are going to be like, well, why aren't you DMing him now? Because I want this to be public. Let's cut out the middleman, let's cut the bullshit, and let's talk. Because Ethan, if we are making demands, right, you need to hear it from me. Well, here you go. I have a few demands of my own. One, I want a video like this. Make a response video similar to this one. It doesn't have to be fancy. In fact, I don't want it fancy. No music, no cuts, no edits, nothing. Just a simple video acknowledging the situation and responding, and just talking. Because you talk about how authentic you are and how you make it priority number one to be authentic with your audience. Well, then let's be authentic. Let's remove the middleman. Let's take away the he said, she said, because there seems to be a ton of he said, she said, especially going back and forth with all the people in the DMs. Let's cut the crap. Let's talk. In terms of scheduling this, I have 4 essays due, or projects due, next week, so I'm gonna be a little bit busy, so I don't know if next week is gonna work, but we'll figure it out. I am perfectly down. I am down to have literally everyone I just mentioned, you, me, the Iron Musket, Brendan Gage, and Skybox Designs, all talking on a podcast or even a live stream. I actually think it would be better if we just live stream the whole thing. I don't care on whose channel. It could be on your channel, my channel, Josh's channel. We can make Skybox Designs create or Brendan Gage's channel, or we can make Skybox Designs create a channel and stream it on. I do not care. Let's just talk about this, because I really want to clear the air. I am tired of people asking me, why do you have beef with Ethan? And before we do this, let me say it explicitly right here. I did not make that video because I have a bone to pick with Ethan. I made that video because I 100% disagreed with the ideology of trying to justify a 13,000 calorie cheat day, and I saw a man who is lying to himself, lying to his audience, and I saw the possibility of people who are looking for justification taking what Ethan said and using it as justification for themselves. Ethan was a textbook example of someone who is self-justifying and lying to himself, and I wanted to serve as a wake-up call for him and a wake-up call for anyone else who needed it. Like I said in the Instagram post that I made about it, because so many people were saying, well, why do you have beef with Ethan? So, yeah, let's clear the air. Let's talk. Right? Because it is kind of annoying. It is kind of frustrating. And I don't really... I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people thinking that the only reason why I made that video was because you and I have beef. And the reason why I want to make this public is because I don't think there needs to be a whole bunch of DMs back and forth. This is a non-drama. This is non-ma, in my opinion. Like, I made my video, I said my points, and I left it at that. Right? I made a few other posts or videos addressing some of the idiots that were coming and be like, you don't know what discipline is, or you're only doing this because of that, just to kind of show, hey, I didn't. But it still seems to persist even 2 weeks after it's gone. So let's talk, Ethan. Let's talk. You can attempt to justify your position. I will attempt to justify my position. And we can have the other three people act as mediators, as outsider viewpoints, as personal experiences. And I really do think the live stream will be perfect because, again, we talk about authenticity. You said in your comment, you make it priority number one to be authentic with your audience. Well, then a live stream, if we can't do a live stream, a podcast would be fine, I suppose, with, minimal editing. Or no editing at all, but I think the live stream would be perfect because then neither of us have anywhere to hide. We justify it as the question comes up, we can interact with each other live, the audience can see us interacting with each other live, and we can even have the audience ask us questions in real time. We can answer and justify our positions in real time. Let's have a conversation, and let's talk, because I think this conversation, even beyond you just saying I only did that because I have a bone to pick with you, could help a lot of people in the community. So again, Ethan, the ball's in your court. I await your response. Let's talk.